Welcome to the Beyond Anxiety podcast, where we talk about dismantling mental health stigmas, mental health awareness through education, and strategies for overcoming mental health challenges. I'm your host, Darius Fennell, and I'm a mental health and therapy advocate, published author, speaker, and coach. I'm so glad you decided to tune in and listen, and I'm so excited to get into this next episode. Welcome, and please like, subscribe, follow, comment, and enjoy. And welcome back to another episode of the Beyond Anxiety podcast. I'm your host, Darius Fennell, and I am here with a special guest, Dr. Tasheka Cox. Thank you for being here on the show. It was a pleasure to have you. A little bit about her background. She is a licensed psychotherapist, mental health wellness coach, speaker, and author, and proud author of Truth Be Told, Ants Be Gone, and Self-Care is Not Selfish. And I definitely want to get into those as we get into the episode. But welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, thank you for that introduction. I'm so glad that, I'm here on the show and I'm excited to talk about the topics that we're going to address today. So you just said a lot about me already, but yeah, only thing I would add is I'm also a mom, a wife, and I really enjoy time just to myself where I can relax and take care of myself because, the work is the work. And
Yeah.
so we got to make sure that we have those times. One of my favorite things to do is puzzling and riding my bike. So I love those things. And I always encourage people to just find their thing too. So.
So, yes, I would assume that you're an introvert,
Well, I'm not. I'm an
ambivert.
extroverted introvert. So I love to be around people. I love to talk with people, but I
Gotcha.
need my time to recharge at the
Recharge.
end of the day. Yes. And my puzzles and my bike are my recharge time.
Yeah. Do you do like 500, 1,000, 2,000? Like what
Oh,
level are you in
yeah, but
now?
let's pause. Okay. But your your numbers were getting kind of big there. Um, the most I've done is 1,000. When I
Okay.
looked at the 5,000, I was like, "Why are those pieces so small?" You see that I wear glasses already. I can't see, so let's bring it back. So no.
You definitely don't wanna lose those small pieces because I've gotten to I also am a puzzler,
Mm,
and I've gotten to the end of so many puzzles, and that last piece could not be found. So it's
Isn't that
like,
the
oh,
most frustrating thing ever? You're like, okay, where's this piece? I look around everywhere for the piece. I'm like, somebody took the piece. I'm asking
it's
everyone in
gone.
my house who took the piece,
Right.
even the dog. I'm like, did you eat the piece?
It's gone. That piece is gone.
Oh, the piece
So
is gone. The piece
it
is gone.
happens. However, I have found it to be a very useful tool to be in the present moment. I know for some people,
Absolutely.
like I have some friends that like they get stressed about it. I'm like, what are you getting stressed for? Like you find the peace when you find it. But
Hmm.
for myself, I found it to be something that allowed me to not be, overwhelmed by like the noise because I'm here looking at this piece. I'm here
Hmm.
looking down at this puzzle, and it's given my nervous system time to just relax
Settle. Yeah,
from the noise. Nothing else matters except the moment right now, the piece, and where it's going and finding the next one, and that's it. So
that's it.
I'm
That's
sure in
it.
your practice, there are other tools that you probably have recommended and put together for other people's toolkits for things that would work in that regard. Could you share some of those tools when it comes to therapeutic measures?
Yeah, I like to tell people to look at the domains of well being and
Mm,
try to do something in each of those domains each day for your wellness. So when we look at our emotional well being, something that you can do to tend to your emotional well being each day. So if that's talking to a friend or a trusted person about what you're experiencing emotionally, or journaling, or even listening to music, or just like dancing, or just something that you could do to release those emotions, or puzzling like we do, but something that you could do to tend to those emotions. And
right.
then there's your mental well-being. Again, maybe pick a drawer or something to organize. I know for some people sometimes that could feel chaotic in the brain, but it's one of those also present moment activities that really focus you in on the here and now.
Yeah.
So if you're able to do that, puzzling is also another mental well-being thing that we can do. Reading. reading a book or just reading something online. I mean, I wouldn't say to scroll through because, yeah, that doesn't really help.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't help. Next thing you know, it's like 5 hours later.
Yeah, yeah,
And your social well being is another aspect.
mhm.
So this could be you just going out and maybe having coffee with a friend or just going out and doing some kind of social activity where you're amongst other people. And then your physical well-being, of course, So this could be like for me, I love walking my dogs every morning. So that is part of my physical well-being activity. But it could also making sure that you're drinking enough water and you're getting enough sleep, you're getting adequate rest. So those are all scheduling your doctor's appointment. Those are all part of taking care of your physical well-being. And the other one, your spiritual well-being, so
Yes.
that could be you praying, you meditating, you going out in nature and just being allowing nature to soothe your soul. So there's so many aspects of ourselves that we want to make sure that we take care of. And if we able to do at least one thing in those domains. Oh, I forgot one. It's actually one that I add. I don't know. I don't think it's in the domain thing, but I add it. I call it the pleasure well-being. Because
Okay.
guess what? We need to have fun.
Yes.
Okay? We need
Yes,
to enjoy life.
we do.
Life has it's a lot coming at us every day.
Yeah.
We need to make time for fun and pleasure. So,
That was one of the things my therapist told me. She said, "You need to do those things that nourish your soul."
that's
And
right.
one of the things I got into was astrophotography,
Ooh.
right? Yeah, I got me a little telescope, and
Mm.
next thing you know, I started to expand and get kinda more expensive ones that could do a little bit more. I
Yeah.
found a group online, and we had ourselves the Astro Nerds, and it's I think the first time I saw Jupiter
Mm.
with my telescope,
Wow.
like some level of peace just like hit me where I was like, I
Mm.
don't have a care in the world right now.
Mhm.
And I think you can do up to 4 guests on the TikTok live.
Mhm.
So all 4 of us will be looking at something different in the sky and sharing kind of what we were feeling from that or what we were experiencing. Or sometimes you'd be sharing like something crazy that happened during the day. But for that half an hour, hour, or hour and a half that we're on, like there's nothing else in the
Nothing
world,
else matters.
you
Oh,
know. So those are like the soul nourishing things that, just feel good. And my therapist like, do those and keep doing more of those. Like
yep.
I used to ride my bike. I did a couple of charity rides.
Uh-huh.
Um and then I think COVID happened, and
Mm.
so that kinda that kinda changed some things up. Like, I rode for a little while longer, and then, yeah, just life circumstances kinda, deterred that away, but I think it varies for each person, and
Absolutely.
I think people have to understand it's not that deep, it's extremely practical. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's going for a walk.
Yep.
I have to remind myself to get up, like, if my meeting for work would end early, it's like, "Look,
Mhm.
just go walk the quarter of a mile and come back, get you some fresh air,"
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because if you do not, and it's one of the things I had to learn the hard way, is that and I think one of the book titles is called what? The Body Keeps Score.
Mhm. The body keeps us.
Absolutely does, and even if it's not something that's ruminating in your mind, it's stored somewhere in the body,
Yep.
and at some point, that nervous system's gonna say, "You know what? We tried to get your attention.
Yep.
We turned the volume up a little bit, you didn't listen, and so now you get the rock concert that."
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I love that visual. That's so true. That is so true. And something else too, that came to mind as you were speaking is that, how you were talking about like before COVID, you were riding your bike a lot more and then it kind of shifted after
Yeah.
COVID. Is to understand that when we go through different seasons in life, different periods in life, the things that we do that does nourish us, they change too, and that's
Yes.
okay, right?
Yes.
We wanna
Yes.
find what works for us in the season that we're currently in. Because some things I know I used to do some things that now I'm like, "Oh, that's not for me
Yep. Yep.
anymore," right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
finding the thing that works for you, that brings that nourishment, like you being
Yeah.
in that club and seeing Jupiter. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so amazing.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and that just consequently is the name of my book that I wrote too
Is
was
it Jupiter?
well, it's Leaving Jupiter, Navigating Your Anxiety Recovery.
Oh, okay. See?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I have a bunch of different pictures of the planet. I bought, like, a laptop. I mean, I got pretty serious with it,
Mhm.
and now, like you said, it is an evolving thing, and it's an evolution, so now I make, AI music. So now that kinda consumes a lot of my time, so,
See,
um
different things, different
yeah,
seasons.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
so but one of the things that, took me a while to get to the tools
Mm.
is it took me a while to get to therapy.
Uh,
And so we talked about this in the pre-show,
yeah.
the pre-recording about different stigmas and stuff.
Mm.
And for me, and I kind of summed this in my book as well, little plug, I didn't want to be looked upon as lazy, crazy, or just weak.
Mhm.
And as a male, and even in our culture, and even within like church,
Mhm.
I remember I heard one pastor say, "You don't need no man's philosophy; you just need the word of God."
Mm.
You know? However, if you had a heart problem, I'm not saying don't pray, but when you go see a cardio
That part.
why is the mine any different? So what types of things have you seen in your field, in your life and experience where folks have just been struggling with that?
Yeah. One of the things I ask people is, whose voice is that?
Ooh.
Like, whose voice is that is saying that thing to you, that
Mm.
you're believing and that you're thinking that this is facts. This is what I'm gonna go with. This is how I'm gonna live my life. Because a
Jeez.
lot of times we have a lot of voices that's influencing us. And many times it's not our own voice. We're not the
Yes.
ones that's saying, this is what I wanna do,
Right.
right? So we gotta take that pause. We gotta slow ourselves down and really distinguish whose voice is that?
Mm.
And is that the voice that I wanna follow? Is
Mm.
that the voice that's aligned with me? Is that the voice that I wanna be guiding my life right now, right? Because then you can make a conscious choice to choose your voice,
Yeah.
right? And the voice that is best for you.
Mm. That that right there, hold on.
Mm.
This was something else I meant to mention to you in the pre-recording. So I'm sure you're familiar with Back to the Future,
Yes.
right? Movie.
Love that movie.
You remember the flux capacitor?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a nerd too. I
Me
told you I'm
too.
an engineer. Well, then
Oh,
you're
you're gonna get my nerdy out. Okay, okay. I'm ready.
gonna love this. So
Okay.
on this show, we don't do the flux capacitor, we do the flex capacitor. And so, oh yes, anytime something that is profound or just worthy of saying, hey, let's pause here, you'll see me do this throughout the show. Introduce this to you earlier. But yeah, this that was a flex that you just said, and I just wanted to
Woo, woo, I got the flex. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
I love that. I am totally a Back to the Future nerd. Like, I love science fiction. Okay, all right. So
yes.
I love all of that. That's another podcast, but today.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. But that question hit so close to home as
Mm,
far as, like, whose voice is that? And
mhm,
that's a perfect segue into internal family systems, which I definitely want you to, number 1, tell us what it is. I mean, from a layman's terms,
mm,
right? Because I'm like you said, it could get really, really deep. And so I haven't explored that other than which I had in therapy
uh-huh.
myself, but I found it to be a very useful tool in understanding the different parts,
Yeah.
right? And so, how have you seen that help people in their field, or not in their field, but in their life, in terms of understanding the different voices, the
Mhm.
expectations, and the different needs that really reflect what's happening inside?
Yeah. So basically, IFS is looking at how your internal system is organized. So when we think about our internal system, in IFS, we look at our parts, the parts that are organized in our system. So we have what's called protector parts, and we have what's called exiles, and we have what's called our self,
Mm,
right? And so internally, it's like we have these different parts kind of playing out depending on whatever it is that we are dealing with, right?
mhm,
Our protector parts pretty much as it says protector, but their main function is to protect us. So we have our managers that are protectors and our firefighters that are protectors. Our managers are the ones that organize our lives, that says, listen, you need to get this done, you need to get that done, you need to make sure this is here, that is there. You know, my manager part is comes out a lot.
Yeah.
And it has as professionals, we see a lot of manager parts. We need those manager parts to
Yes.
keep us going, right? Then we have our firefighters, who is also a protective part, but that part tends to come out in destructive ways. So if you think about like a burning house, right? When that firefighter go in there, he ain't trying to say, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I don't mess up the couch. I'm gonna make sure that I
Right.
don't mess up, this over there. Oh
Right.
no, he coming in there spraying his hose everywhere. Right? Everything is getting it. Everywhere is getting it. And we see those parts tend to be like substance abuse parts,
Mm,
the ones that are trying to numb us. So
mhm,
drinking tend to be like firefighter parts. Well, the one that's get into like abusive drinking and stuff like that too. Um, SI is another firefighter part, so suicidal ideation is a
mm,
firefighter part. All of these parts are trying to protect us. That
yeah.
is their goal, but some do it in some ways and some do it in some other ways. And then we have what's called our exiles, and those are our wounded parts. Those
Mm,
are our earlier parts, a lot from our childhood that have experienced like trauma or abuse or challenging experiences. Those are the parts that carry a lot of our pain. And those parts, our manager part and our firefighter part, don't want to come out. And it
mm,
tries to suppress the exiles because it don't know what the exile is going to do. The exiles tend to be, they're not really predictable. They can be unpredictable because if you think about it, right? If pain comes up, sometimes you might cry, sometimes you might scream, sometimes you might yell, sometimes you might act out, sometimes you might there are protective parts don't know what that exile is gonna do, so it
right.
tries to suppress it. But the
Mm,
exile, they just wanna be heard. They
yeah.
just wanna be seen. They just wanna be cared for. They just wanna be loved, they want all of the things that they weren't able to get before. And, so I work with the exiles a lot.
Yeah.
I work with all those parts a lot, but the
Yeah.
exiles tend to be the one and those are the harder parts to identify for some people
Mm,
because their system is trying to keep them at bay,
okay.
um, and it's working overtime a lot of times to keep them at bay, but once we can get to that exile part, a lot of the healing tends to happen there. A lot of the work that needed to be done to repair those wounds, that's where we get that. And then we have ourself, what we call self-healing energy in
Yeah.
ourself, this is where we're in control. Our self is kinda in the driver's seat, so it's not our protective parts, it's not our exile, it's our selves, and we're the ones that's when we're more calm and curious and compassionate and confident and courageous and clear. That's usually when we're in our self, and that is our
Mhm,
healing energy. That is our healing part. So, that's my spiel on IFS.
yeah. Oh,
I love
goodness.
that
Yeah,
word.
so I'll tell you about 2 of my parts just to fit into what you just shared, but, there's Doc Brown from Back to the Future,
Dark brown, okay.
and he's definitely one who will ruminate and everything is level 10 worry, "We gotta do something about this," trying
Mhm.
to anticipate the worst case scenario.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you saw the 3rd Matrix where there was a guy named Captain Mifune, and he was in the little tech robot, and he was kinda like the last guy standing.
Huh. I don't
Like,
think I got
everybody
to see
else.
that one.
Yeah, they took all the other robots out, but he
Uh,
was like the last guy, but he was just a man of war, just, like, firing away, and
mm.
Of course, the little squiddy things were coming down into Zion trying to, like, destroy the people.
Mhm.
So he was just trying to fire me literally inside this dome, and he's just firing away. They had like an entire army of these little tech robots,
Wow.
and he was literally the last one standing. But like he was just he was an absolute just animal, But like the guy they were helping them to reload the
Mm.
machine, he was like, man, this guy, he's a piece of metal.
Wow.
And sure enough, like, he was the last man standing, and he lasted long enough for them to, open up the gate and do all this other stuff. However, when the two of them get together, Doc Brown as well as Captain Mifune, does not go well.
Unstoppable.
Well, unstoppable, but unbridled. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
there's no off switch to them.
Yes.
Everything is a danger. And so it's like, dude, you're shooting things that aren't dangerous. Like, hey, we don't care. It moved. We're shooting it.
Firefighter. Firefighter. Yeah.
A lot of times I'd be talking with my therapist, and she would say, whose voice is that? And I'd be
Mm,
like, that's Doc Brown. I'm
mm,
like, all right.
mhm.
So many times what he is anticipating is exaggerated,
Yeah.
right? The chances of those things that he may be anticipating, very, very low occurrence,
Yep.
right? But to him and
Big.
to the one who's at the control, the helm of the control,
Mhm.
it is real. And so we're
Absolutely.
gonna respond accordingly. The body's gonna respond accordingly. The cortisol is gonna respond accordingly. The adrenal glands are gonna respond accordingly, and the mind's
Mhm.
gonna ruminate until we've identified the threat and gotten rid of it. But the thing is, the anxious mind is never satisfied.
Never.
And
Never
so
ever.
it's a game of whack-a-mole, right? And so you knock one down, another
Here
one
comes
pops
another one.
up.
Exactly.
We had to identify other parts to say, okay, who else has, like, we would let each person have a say in terms of what it is they want it to express. Like, what does this part need right now? Even though Doc Brown is, looks irrational and is, sounds crazy, what is
Mhm.
it that he wants at the end of the day? And that was safety. And it's
Yes.
like, okay, how can we speak to that part and communicate what safety is?
Yep.
And you start with, like, what evidence do you have in front of you?
Yep.
Right? Okay, we let Doc Brown be heard. Let's present him with evidence to show him, like, the thing you're worried about, it's not here right now. So
Yep.
we can be safe. We need you at a certain time, just not like across the board,
Mhm.
all day long.
Mhm.
But now that you had a chance to be heard and we acknowledge you with compassion,
Mhm.
then okay, you're able to sit down and let some other voice be heard. You know?
Mhm.
And for
Yes.
me, that's Picard and Morpheus. Those are my 2, like, leaders. When they're
Ooh.
at the helm,
Yes. You're
life's
good. You're
good.
in self
Yeah,
energy.
right, but every now and then, Doc's like, "Hey, man, I know you saw what I saw. Watch
Yeah.
out. Let me let me drive right now."
But I love how you've been able to identify and name your parts, though, because that helps you to be in control of them.
Yeah,
They're not just running amok, you right?
right. I
Inside
know
of your
what I need to act on, right?
exactly.
I really need to act on that right now. Like, dude, Doc, yo, sit down, man. Like, no, we we don't need you just yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay.
Absolutely. Like, chill out. You good.
Just
Like
like,
you say to the kids, right? What you good, chill out. You're all right. Just take a breath.
relax, bro. Relax, man. We good. You know? Yeah, so it's been fun, as well as, like, enlightening, as well as,
Mhm.
like, just having a sense of awareness,
Yeah.
right? One of the first steps is to say, "What am I actually dealing with?" And as you said earlier, I'm gonna go back to that statement, whose voice is talking right now?
Yep.
Sometimes it's our parents' voice.
Yep.
That's a deep one.
Listen.
Ooh, when you said that, I was like, there were a couple things that we had to get into in some of my past sessions where I was like, yeah, this is kind of difficult. We're gonna have to
Mm,
do a couple of sessions of these, and there
mhm.
was sometimes I had to take the rest of the day off because it was that heavy.
Yeah.
Like, how long did I have this pent up and identify as my voice when it really wasn't?
Mhm. Mm. Yeah. That's the work, right? That's the work, that deep work to get to what was this that was causing me to feel this way, to think this way, to
Yeah,
behave this way, right? And
Yeah.
when you're able to identify that, it's so empowering.
Yes.
It could be overwhelming at
It is.
first, but it's
Yeah.
also super empowering because now it's no question, right? It's not a question anymore about like, why am I doing this? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I acting this way? Now it's like, huh, now that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And that could create some distance between us and our experience.
Yeah.
And that is very important because sometimes, like even with anxiety, I have some clients that say my anxiety. And I often tell them to let's reframe that. It's
Yes.
your anxiety, it's you feel anxious, right? Creating that distance allows you to come back into self and
Mm,
say, "This is what
mm,
I am going." Oh, I get another one. Okay, okay. Okay.
mm, mm.
But yeah, no, and that's what we want. We wanna be able to come back home to ourselves and be able to trust ourselves, develop that self-trust that we can get through this. We can work on this. We
Yeah.
can manage this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Instead of the thing
Yep.
managing us.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And this is why I have been doing this work is because everything that you just said,
yeah,
I don't think people can do on their own trying to like Google or read a book. You
yeah,
need a licensed professional.
yeah.
Here's the other aspect that well, when you're in survival mode, you don't realize how much of a manipulator you can be
Mhm.
because my first therapist, I tried to dictate the pace,
Mm.
how she was going to, give me treatment, how I was going to get up out of this thing, right? Give me this
Mhm.
book, give me a bunch of things to do. I'm going to check these boxes and
That was
you
your
never have
manager
to see
part.
me again, you know?
Yeah.
And she saw it a mile away. She just kind
Uh-huh.
of smiled. She's just like, you're gonna learn, that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Not true healing. Like you can have a quick fix that may work for a little while. It's not gonna be sustained because
Yep.
there's so many layers that you have to, you know, really uncover.
Yep.
And there's a lot of self-discovery.
Mhm.
And I would say the other piece is I recognize how much compassion I did not have
Mhm.
for
Mm.
myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have a degree in this stuff, but I feel like if that's not foundational, nothing else will
Mhm.
work,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so we had to stay there a long time. I didn't like the aspect of pausing
Yeah.
or, what was the other thing? Like, just being quiet. I'm like, "No, okay, we've identified this thing, like, let's annihilate it."
Mhm.
Like, "N no, we're not gonna annihilate this because it's a part of you. You wanna annihilate yourself?
Yeah.
I don't think so."
Nope.
I remember getting not upset, but just like, "Here we go with this pause stuff again."
Mhm.
Like when we get to like a tender moment, it's like, okay, let's pause here. What are you feeling in your body? Like I'm feeling like I want to run if we don't continue on with this session.
Mhm. But see, that's that uncomfortable emotion that a lot of people want to not feel, right?
Yeah.
But we have to understand that we have a range of emotions.
Yes.
We should be able to try to be in each of them, kind of like let each of them have their time with us, right? And
Yeah.
discomfort is one of them.
Yes.
And people like to run away from it, but it is a messenger emotion, you know? It
Gosh.
tells us what it is that we need to okay. Imma have to get used to that. But it does, it tells us what it is that we need to work through, what it is that we're trying to avoid, and usually those things that we're trying to avoid are connected to our exiles, so, yeah,
Mm,
let's
yeah.
sit in it for a minute. Let's sit here.
It
Let's
it
feel
took
it.
it took a while. It took
Yeah.
a long time to really, even on my own, because you all like to assign homework and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And the first few times I'm like, I'm gonna smile and say, yeah, I'm gonna do the home.
Mhm.
I
You ain't do
wasn't.
it.
Yeah, I didn't. But I also saw, I'm like, well, if I don't do this, I'm
Yeah.
gonna continue to stay where I am. So am I going to have the discomfort of this, familiar, pain and pattern, or the
Mhm.
discomfort of, hey, you can, heal from this and
Yep.
gain insight and learn how to have compassion
Yeah.
and walk the journey of recovery, not
Yeah.
just, like a quick fix. That
Right.
was the other thing. Like I had my MO in life was just, push the clutch in, find another gear, and
Mhm.
just brute force.
Mm.
My willpower got me through so many they also got me into a lot of trouble because
Mm.
I'd constantly gone between burnout and passion, burnout and passion.
Mhm.
And at some point, your nervous system will say, "I cannot do this
Yep.
any longer."
Yep.
And the more I tried to fight, the worse it was getting. And then it frightened me because I was like, this is all I have learned and what I've known to be successful in terms of survival. Now
Mhm.
you're telling me it's the very thing that is causing my problems. I don't know what to do or where to go at this point. And
Mhm.
it took all of that, the crisis mode, to say, get your butt in therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What type of things have you seen in terms of stigma or just circumstances where you could kind of tell like this person probably could use some therapy and then finally they came around to it? Even
Wow.
if including yourself, if that fits your description.
Listen, I'm a therapist that believe in therapists need to be in therapy too. So I believe everybody should have a therapist. So, but no, I've seen people just like struggle, just just struggling, like limping their way through life
Mhm.
and refusing to get the help and form of therapy because of some of the things we talked about before, because of the stigma, because of hearing, what they hear. But then they get to a point where, just like you talked about the nervous system, the body cannot sustain it anymore. The mind, the body, the soul, nothing can sustain it anymore. And for some people, it is like a rock bottom in a sense that they have to hit before they're like, okay, I surrender and I need to get some help. Right. For others, it's maybe just like one life circumstance that really shifted their mindset and they're like, okay, I need to get some help. Some others is just the encouragement of a friend or a family member or, you know, somebody and they're like, "You know what? Okay, I need to get some assistance here." So, I mean, I've seen the range of and then for some they're like forced to come forced to come.
The
Forced
spouse, I mean, told him, "You gonna go, we
like
done."
ultimatums. Either you go or I go, right? But whatever the reason that brought them there, what I
Yeah.
have found is that most people who just give it a chance, give it a go,
Mhm.
they end up staying,
Yeah.
right? But therapy is just like, just like when you go to the doctor, finding the right fit is important.
Yes. Yes.
It's a very intimate relationship in terms of this is someone that you're sharing something that perhaps maybe you haven't shared with anyone else, right? So there needs to be safety. There needs to
Ooh,
be an ability for you to connect with that person
yes.
so that you can share what you I don't know why I still can't get used to it. Okay. But no, but you really do need to find that's why I tell people it's okay to shop around.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go to the store and buy the first dress unless it's looking really good that you
Right.
see, right?
Good
You
deal
might
on it.
shop around trying to find a bargain, try to find a better price for the
Right.
dress. I'm not saying for therapy, but try to find something that works for you. So I recommend that people find the person that works for them so that you can feel safe enough to work on whatever it is that has caused the pain, suffering, challenge, or, some people just come to therapy sometimes just
Yeah.
for a safe space just
Yes.
to connect,
Yep.
and talk about what they're going through. It doesn't always have to be like the worst possible thing, like,
Right.
that you hit the rock bottom like I talked about before.
Yes.
Sometimes it's like maintenance for your
Yep.
life, Like just like you go and get your annual checkup every year to maintain your body, I
You're
think that
supposed to, right?
well,
A lot
most
of us
people.
don't.
Yeah,
They
you
don't
should
go.
for your health. But I think therapy should be like that, I might be a little biased, but yes, I do. I think
Oh, I
it
agree.
should be one of those, like, annual, at least at a bare minimum, like, annual things that people do, because just like your physical health needs taken care of and a
Yeah.
checkup every year, so does your mental health, your emotional health, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
let's
Uh,
go. Let's go get
yeah.
that therapy.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's, I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but that is definitely one of them that I did not go sooner than I did,
Mm,
you know. Having an engineering background, every equation it can be solved, right? Every problem has a
yeah,
solution, right? Even though even within that field, that's not 100% true,
right.
but that's the mindset that we have going into everything that we approach,
Yep.
and so I've sort of adopted that. I used to adopt that for life.
Mhm.
Now I'm okay with the uncertainty,
Yep.
right? Understanding that control is an illusion.
Oh my gosh. It is like the sand that just sifts through your hand.
But we struggle with it so much because, excuse me, maybe at some point in our lives, the sense of safety was,
Yeah.
taken away.
Yep.
And that inner voice said, I will never let this happen to me or someone I love ever
Mhm.
again. Have you seen, and I'm sure you have, but
Mm.
have you seen in practice where folks have struggled with the whole control piece and how that is even possibly delayed like healing and recovery?
Yeah, control is a big one. Oh my goodness. We spend a lot of our time in this life that we're living trying to control everything around us, things around us,
Yeah,
when in actuality, literally, the only thing that we can control, the only thing that we have full control over is ourselves, right?
yeah, our breath, really, right?
Listen,
Even that could be snatched away,
even
though.
that could be snatched. So, I'm just saying. So, do we really even have control of that? But our actions, we do have control over, right? The way that we go about our life, we have control over that for ourselves, but we don't have control over how anybody else interacts with us. We don't
Yep,
have control over how anybody else do their life. We don't have control over nothing outside of our thoughts, behaviors, and
yeah.
feelings. We can work on those things. You're gonna
I was gonna say, how do you find that, like, being intertwined with, like, illusions? Because that was
mm,
another one that my therapist had dropped on me.
uh,
She used the word fantasy, but it was like she's like, "You're still holding on to the fantasy," which was really the illusion that I had created just to survive,
yeah, yeah,
and have a sense of control and safety. But
yeah.
it's like the game Jenga. You
Mhm.
pull that piece out and everything kind of fell over. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need to go for like a 2 mile walk." And let me let my boss know I probably won't be working the rest of the day because I can't unsee that.
Yeah.
And I can't lie to myself anymore because somebody who, didn't have the emotional investment to, "Oh, let me sugarcoat this." I mean, and I was like, that day I got it. Like, it wasn't anything I hadn't heard before, but
Yeah.
it took the right person to just get
Yep.
it deep in the gristle,
Yep.
down into the bone marrow.
Yep.
And I didn't pull it out this time. I was like, all right, I'll deal with it now, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but how have you seen, I guess, illusion, fantasy, slash all those things sort of wrapped in with the whole control narrative or false control, was we really want to call it?
Yeah, and I mean, you said it too as you were speaking about creating that for your survival. I mean, our nervous system's main job is to keep us alive
By any means.
by any means necessary, okay? So, sometimes that any means is to create this altered self,
Yeah.
right? It's the splitting of our parts. But that split is there so that our parts don't get overwhelmed,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So that we can have this other self that can be there as like a protector or a safety person for us, right? And sometimes that is the characters that we create within ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Our alter egos. That's what people like to say a lot. My alter ego.
Right.
Right? But they're doing their job. They've done their job. The thing that we gotta recognize when we get to working on our healing is that they've done their job. They've got you here. Do you still need them?
Yeah. Ooh. Mm. 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 Mm.
Yeah, right?
My goodness.
So sometimes we hold on to those fantasies, like you're saying, or hold on to control
Yeah.
because we think we still need it,
Yep.
right? But
Yep.
the selves that we are today is not the same selves that we were yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of that is connected to like what lie did you believe about
Mhm.
yourself and how you saw yourself? And are you gonna be willing
Oof.
to let a certain truth in now and embrace it, so that you can really, really embrace who you are, not this person you had to create to survive.
Mhm.
That transition of itself again, this is why I cannot stress it enough. This
Mhm.
isn't something that you can process on your own. There's no way I
Absolutely.
could have all the stuff that I've been sharing with you about the different sessions and funny things that happen, like, I
Mhm.
share all those things so that people can see, like, "No, this didn't happen because I was sitting on a beanbag, like, look on my phone scrolling through, like, memes or somebody's motivational speech. This was
Yep.
me sitting in a room across from a professional who's been trained for this,
Yep.
to help walk me through, not run, not
Yep.
rush, not fly, not, come up with some, funky formula that
Mhm.
if I just, plug these variables into the equation that I'll get something wonderful out on the other side. Like healing is
Mhm.
messy. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot
Mhm.
of gray.
Mhm.
And again, going back to the CBT cognitive distortions, the
Mhm.
black and white thinking. Oh,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
gray just mess. I'm like, you can't. It's like mixing the broccoli and the macaroni. Like you can't mix those, man.
Don't let him touch. Don't let him touch.
He's from the broccoli getting to the macaroni, man. But no, it's like, no, life
Yeah.
is a mixture of all those
It's a
things, and you have to
mixture.
embrace when it just kinda does all that stuff together, and I didn't wanna do that.
Mhm.
The more I was resisting all the different things that was my therapists were trying to walk me through, the more I noticed, like, I am the reason why I'm delaying the journey,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
But it took time to embrace, number 1, develop that trust with
Yeah.
the person. It's just like a child, like, sometimes they'll sort of resist to see how much do you really care,
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
really invested in me with this thing? Or are you
Mhm.
just kinda, doing what you were trained to do, you
Yep.
know? And
Yep.
there's parts where, yes, I was trained to do, but you wanna feel there's a connectivity
Connection. Mhm.
that takes place, and I wanna see how far you're willing to go. So if I miss my homework assignment 3 times, are you gonna give up on me? If I look
Mhm.
in your eyes and see you don't care anymore, then guess what? I'm not gonna care
Mhm.
anymore, and guess what? I'm done with therapy.
Mm.
Luckily, I had therapists
Oof.
that were just like, she would just say, "Listen, you can be here as long as you want to be in this state in your life. I've
Mhm.
given you certain tools. I'm going to continue to encourage, but I can't decide that for you.
Yep.
So I'm not offended. It's how long do you want to stay there? You
Mhm.
know? And I was like, dang, when you put it that way, like I number one, feel like I have a sense of agency. Like, yeah, I get to decide when I and how I do
That's
this.
right.
But at the same time, look how much you delayed the process by resisting. Are you ready to do the work now? Are you ready to seeing that, okay, this is a safe place? It took time.
Yeah. It does.
It takes time with any relationship, right? So
Mhm.
looking back now, I can laugh about a lot of stuff that I went through,
Mhm.
but I want people to see the other side of the table, the clients that go in, the things that they can show the success of doing the work, even if it's like you said earlier, discomforting.
Mhm.
I feel like that is a pre and co-requisite.
Mhm.
But if you've ever been to, like, a physical therapist before, tell me how comfortable physical therapy is.
Yep.
It's not. Like, I've been for my shoulder, my back, my hips, all types of stuff. I can't think of any time other than when they put the little, stem on you and you get done at the end,
Mhm.
the ice or the stem or whatever, that's really like the reward for all the pain you had to go through in that
Yeah.
hour, right? You have to work yourself to that place of comfort
Mm,
and allow, like, really how I define vulnerability is to be open and trusted environments
mhm,
and allow new opportunities for you to have insight and compassion so that
mhm.
real growth can take place, not the
Yeah.
little stuff you whip together, but real growth that is organic. And just like if you put a real seed in the soil, it's not going to be a tree tomorrow.
Mhm. That's right. It's not. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take watering and nurturing and, making sure that you're tending to it. This is the process, right?
Right.
That's the work. And it can be very rewarding. That's the thing. It's like if you
Yes.
can stick with it, right? Your system, if you we're talking about IFS, but if your system has been organized in a way that it function to keep you going for so long, now you're saying to it, "Hey, I want you to do something different."
Only resist. We don't know what that is, so we're going to resist it for a little while till
Yeah,
you can
we're
prove
not
to us this is safe. It doesn't look safe. I don't like it.
we gotta check it out. We gotta make sure it's good, right?
Right.
So, you gotta give your system the opportunity as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
right? To catch up and to feel safe and to be connected. So, it
Yeah.
does take time.
Yeah. Gosh, and I did not have the patience in the
Yeah.
beginning. Mainly when you're in dysregulation, like, you just want some type of comfort,
Relief.
like, not being able to sleep and always feeling like I'm on level 10 or, as I
Mhm.
described, feeling like there's a lion in the room trying to eat you, but there's no lion,
Mm.
and so it's one
Yeah.
thing to say, "Okay, I'm not ruminating, but why is my body still reacting like something bad is about to happen and
Yeah.
nothing's happening?"
Yep. And
Like,
that is why I love EMDR. I don't
please. Please say
Yes.
please tell me about that, 'cause my first therapist was trained in it, but we never did get to it. I
Okay.
did a little bit of reading, but I just didn't have enough at the time to say, "Yeah, I wanna pursue this." So please let the
Mhm.
audience know what it is, how it works, why it works, and just your any experiences that you've had with it with your clients.
Yeah. So EMDR, it stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And basically what EMDR does is it uses bilateral stimulation to go straight to that neuron,
Mm,
that neural network that is holding on to the thoughts, the feelings, and the body sensations, the bodily experience, the somatic experience of that trauma or of that negative experience.
that is amazing that that happens through the eyes. I'm like,
Listen,
"How?"
listen. I have been a client of EMDR and I also do EMDR. I'm an EMDR therapist as well. And I can tell you on both ends,
Mhm.
this thing is legit. It
Wow.
works, it's powerful. We have to make sure that we're taking a adequate history and
Okay.
preparing the client for the desensitization. And so once the client is prepared, then they're usually safely go through the EMDR process. You can't just think your way through trauma, you know?
Right.
Because your body is stored in your body, is stored in your neural networks, that needs to get processed out
Right.
because those memories, those thoughts, those sensations get stuck.
Yeah.
And so what EMDR does is allow the unstucking. That's a word. Allows that unstuck to happen on that neural network, and it's evidence-based. It's been around for a long time, for a while, so it's
Mhm.
been heavily researched, and it's amazing. It's an amazing therapeutic technique if you have trauma and if you just know that your body is still just holding on and it's not releasing,
Yeah.
EMDR could be highly effective for you.
Okay. How often would someone do, like, treatment? Is it weekly? Is it a couple times a week? Does it depend on the level of trauma that you're experiencing, or
So that really depends. You say everybody's like system is so different, right? Our internal system are all different, right? But everyone's system is different. I have had some clients that have had just 3 sessions and they were cleared out all their targets.
Wow.
Like, "Whoa," because their system was the way it was organized, it was ready for that.
Wow.
And then there's been some other clients that it took a while longer. So it really just depends.
Mhm.
But most clients, it's weekly. Sometimes you can do intensives, EMDR intensives, because
Mhm.
some people, they don't want to do the weekly thing. They just want to get in there. And like you were saying about being an engineer, you
Yep.
just want to get in there and solve it right away, right? They want to get
Yep.
in there and go through all 8 phases in one session with all of their targets. So they have
That's
EMDR
pretty intense.
intensives. Yeah, that's what it's called, an intensive. Yeah. It's intense, but for some people that works, right? It works for them and they've been able to clear up, all or most of their targets within that time period. And intensives usually last like a couple of days or sometimes
Okay, so it's
yeah.
not one day.
Uh yeah, some people there have been some intensives that I've seen that some people do it in one day, but some of them, I think the majority of them is probably mostly like over a couple of days.
Okay,
So,
okay,
yeah, it just really depends. It depends on the targets, and it depends on
okay,
the severity of
okay.
the trauma that they're reprocessing too, so it really depends.
Are there any folks where it's like, "You know what? You probably shouldn't do that just yet." Like, maybe try a different modality?
Well,
'Cause
I
it
think
does sound like there's a chance where it could probably be a little too overwhelming for someone.
because we do a lot of resourcing
Mhm.
in EMDR, that's teaching the self-regulation skills,
Okay,
identifying calm, safe place, making sure that the client has a way to regulate and the therapist is still working with you, so a skilled therapist is going to be able to
okay,
know if you're being too hyper aroused, if you're coming outside of your window of tolerance, and they can help
okay,
you come
got
back
you.
inside of your window of
That's what I was
tolerance.
getting
So
at. Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Wait a minute. It sound like you're looking at some, you know,
no
it's
it,
like, "It's too much, I'm out, I can't do it."
no, it's really amazing, it's highly effective. I
Yeah,
stand by it.
it's been on the bucket list, but like I said, I didn't know enough at the time, and
Mhm.
at that moment in my life, I needed more of a talk
Mhm.
approach because there were so many things I had not spoken,
Yeah,
and I needed to be seen and heard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I was able to get that, so
And
I
that's important, that's important. I do wanna say, though, that that is done within EMDR as well
okay,
because there's that, first phase of EMDR where you're taking a lot of history
mhm,
and you're doing the treatment planning, so that's when the client shares a lot of, what's happening with them,
yeah,
and depending on the severity or what the client need, you can slow the process down and you can stay. Some people stay in that first phase, the first couple of phases for, a while, several
mm,
sessions.
okay,
So, yeah, the therapist is going to work with you to see what you need during that time. But it is one treatment, right? That's why we have so many treatment
yes,
options in therapy that you can choose from, and choosing the right one for you where you're at that time is you have your options. So,
very good, very good.
yeah.
Well, we are getting towards the end of the podcast
Wow,
episode.
it's time
Yep,
already. Oh my god, we're having so much fun.
yep, we're coming up on an hour, and this is why sometimes I just say, "Look, listen, we're gonna do a part 2 to this maybe in the next season or even later in the same season."
Yeah.
So, yeah, what I wanna ask you now is if you were to look into that camera and speak to someone who might be on the fence about therapy or different modalities of tools for managing and processing and healing from various things,
Mhm.
but they're a little on the fence about it. Like, number 1, what would you say to them? And then secondly, I want to know like what is next for Dr. Cox? Like,
Mhm.
gonna write a book? Are you gonna do a retreat? Like, what is next for you? And then after that, we'll do the fun, quick fire round.
Okay, yeah, fire round. So, I would like to let all of the viewers know that if you are on the fence with therapy, then that's okay. All right. First of all, that's okay because you have the right to choose what works best for you. But I would encourage you to really check it out. Talk to people that have been to therapy and see if, you can get some advice from them or learn about their experience. And as I said before, shop around, find what works best for you. You want to make sure the connection is there and that the trust is there. And you can do this, okay? If the lies of your past have been dictating your future, it's time to rewrite that narrative and chart a new course forward. Your
Mm.
life belongs to you, okay?
Oh,
So you decide how you want to live it.
you know what? That's a perfect way to end it. Nothing to add
Mm.
to that. Just at this point, like what's next?
Oh, my books. We gotta talk about my books.
Yes.
So I will share before
Yes,
we leave today.
please.
So I have written 3 books, and, I know Mr. Darius mentioned them earlier, but one of them is Truth Be Told: Bridging Faith and Mental Health on the Path to Healing. And this book is using mental health and faith to heal the wounds that our minds carry.
Mm,
It's to allow us to free ourselves from those wounds that we have, especially as people of faith
mhm.
that we carry, that we have been told that, just pray about it and it should go away. Just like give it to God. Yes, we're going to give it to God, but we also got to work on it with man, okay?
Yeah.
And allow that healing process to happen here on earth and in heaven.
Mm,
Okay? So, that is one of my books. And the other one that I want to share with you is Ants Be Gone. This is breaking free from automatic negative thoughts. I do a lot of thought work because the lies that our thoughts be telling us, let's not live by those, okay? We need to
right.
fact check all those thoughts that are
Yes.
making you feel any type of way. That's not a good way. All right?
Yes.
Capture them.
Yeah.
Check them, challenge
Yes.
them. Where is the evidence? Where is the show me the proof that you're right, okay? Because if you don't see no evidence, if you don't see no proof, guess what? We need to change that thought, all
Yes.
right? So those are one more. I have one more. I am sorry. My other one. Self-care is not selfish. Yes, a busy woman's journey to self-care. And that one goes through those domains of self-care that I was talking about in the beginning and helping you to identify where you are on the domains and what you can do to enhance your self-care.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing those. I will have all that information of where you can purchase those as well as the different domains and websites and social media channels so that you can reach out and get in contact with Dr. Cox. And
Yes.
so now we are at the fun part of the show where we do
Ooh,
our
let's go. Let's go. Rapid
round.
fire.
Are you ready?
Okay, ready or not, here it comes. Okay, let's
Here we
go.
go. Here we go. All right. So number one, North Carolina Central or North Carolina A&T?
North Carolina Central, because I'm an Eagle baby. Yes, Eagle.
I actually wasn't even on there. I had to mess with you because I went to A&T, so I was like, oh yeah, we got the.
Okay, all right. It's a rivalry. This is all right. You should have told me I would have worn my shirt. I would have worn my shirt.
I ain't want to start no stuff until the end. I'm like, let's get through the serious stuff first, and then I'm gonna mess with her afterwards.
Okay, okay.
Let make sure we still friends. So I was like, all
Right.
right, let
I don't
me
know
get through.
now. I don't know now.
All right, so number one, car ride or flight?
Ooh, flight, baby. I need to get there fast. I just
Yeah.
put me on a
Yeah.
flight. If I could get there in an hour, we're good.
Got you. Got you.
Like,
Quiet time or social time?
see, you're talking to two parts of me now.
Right. Right.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna go for social. I'm gonna go. Oh, but that didn't even feel right. Okay,
Right. Right.
can I go half and half?
I haven't had it. That's
Half and half.
fair.
Half and half.
That's Yep. That's the nuance, right? So
Yes, the nuance. See the gray area. Hello.
I've embraced it. I've embraced it. Morning workout or evening workout?
Oh, I'm a morning workout. I get up, I walk my dogs. I love it. And I used to get on my Peloton in the morning, but since I got to bring my kid to school, I had to
Ah,
do the Peloton in the evening, but I much rather in the morning.
in the
So,
morning.
morning
Okay.
for me.
Gotcha. Comedy or drama?
Oh, that's good. Oh, it definitely depends on my mood. Depends what I'm in the mood for. Um, Drama.
Drama. Okay. Fair, fair. Ice cream or cake?
Oh, cake.
You a
Cake.
cake person?
Ice cream is so cold. It makes my teeth cold.
Got sensitive teeth. Apple or Android?
Come on now. I'm sorry, but I used to have an Android, and when I went over to Team Apple, I was like, "What was I doing all my life?"
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
so
Thank you. All right. You're all right. I mean, you're
alright.
eagle. You go with the Apple
Okay,
side.
we good now?
Oh,
Okay.
pancake or waffle?
Ooh, pancake. I love
Pancake.
pancakes, yes. Banana
Book.
pancakes are my favorite.
Nice. Book or podcast?
Book. I love turning a page in a
Ah,
book.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas is my favorite. It's the month I was born. It's the month we celebrate Jesus' birth, so Christmas all day, every day.
Very good, very good. And current book you're either reading or just finished reading?
Ooh, whoa. Um, so I am in a book club, and we just finished reading The Uproar, which was really good. It's called The
Okay.
Uproar. Yeah, that was really good.
Gotcha, gotcha. Great. Well, listen, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, sharing all your insights, sharing your experience, and sharing about your books, and a little bit about your fun topics during the quick round. Um, Again, thank you for being on the show. And yeah, that is a wrap. I definitely want to have you back for a part two, especially when it comes to the faith intermingled with,
Yes.
because that was my first therapist is a believer. And
Mhm.
so there were definitely themes that were intermixed together that were extremely like helpful,
Mhm.
just one enhanced the other and vice versa. It was great.
Mhm.
So, because there's stigmas in the church, right?
Mhm.
And as well as with medicine and all types of other stuff. I mean, that again, we could spend a whole nother hour.
That's a whole podcast all by itself.
So yeah, so definitely want to get you in the books sometime for either later this season or season 4. So,
I
but
would
yeah,
love
that's
to.
I'm glad you've written a book about it. I'm definitely gonna look that up. I'm assuming it's probably on Amazon or
It
however.
is.
Okay, so yeah, whether you sold it personally or Amazon, I know about the whole. They're gonna get you for 40%. So if you had on your website, I would go directly there first, just because. So
Well, I appreciate that. But yes, Amazon is where you will find it, unless
okay.
you see me in person, and I always have a copy with me.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, shoot, I keep mine in the car like mixtapes because
That's right.
we talk. I'm like,
You
"Oh,
never
you got
mixtapes.
you got
Yes.
you got mental health?
Listen,
You
let me
interested
get
in
one
a
of
book?"
those.
Right. You pop my trunk real quick, bam,
Yes.
$20. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is amazing. That is literally what we used to do. Just
Yes.
get
Yep.
your tape, pop the trunk, get your tape.
Get you one. Get you one.
Now you could get one of our books because we'll have them on us if you see us,
Right.
right? It's been a pleasure being here. I'm so excited that you invited me because I love this. Obviously, this is the work that I do, but I'm also super passionate about it. I
Absolutely.
don't even think of it as work actually. It's
Yeah.
a calling. It's like
Yes.
this is my purpose. This is what I was
Yeah.
meant to do. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate you letting me share this work with you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the show, and you know the slogan, find your recovery path. Till next time, thank you for listening.
You can tell your lies, you can make your plans, watch it all fall apart, watch it drift like sand. You can form the weapon, but it never